Hello, this is John Kensick. For my final assignment for EDUCP 516, I'm going to explain to you my theory of adolescent development. Throughout this course, one of the things that I've really just picked up on is just the complexity of development, specifically with adolescent development, but I mean all areas of development, whether you're talking from infancy to being a toddler, just the development that happens there. Three primary areas that I just kind of focused on as the factors that determine adolescent development are biological, psychological, and social. You can see the example I've included here of adequate sleep and influenced by things like caffeine, changes in the brain, or social media. So you can see even in that brief example just the influence and the multiple factors that happen in adolescent development. Most of the time, whenever you talk to someone that works frequently with adolescents, they frequently bring up puberty and hormones and the influence that that has on behaviors of students. So that's obviously a component as well. Often there's been early signs of puberty can be linked to an increased risk for a delinquency or questionable behavior from adolescents. And then there's also the genetic component that what we are passed down from our parents, and that influences some of the development as well, and maybe even characteristics of having certain behavior tendencies. The psychological factors, this is where I really kind of feel like I got into a little bit more of what I believe. Definitely I see evidences of Vygotsky's zone of proximal development as I'm teaching and trying to give students just something beyond what they can do on their own whenever I kind of lead them through that and guide them. I also feel like part of Piaget's view of cognitive development I agree with, but I felt like his categories, his 5 categories, were just a little bit too general, and I see students that would fall into multiple categories. And so that his theory, I don't know if I would completely agree with everything that he came up with in that. And then also during adolescent development, there's just the emotional component as they develop and they're learning who they are and kind of making their own choices. Here, the social factors of peers, parents, culture, school, all of these work together to have an influence, teaching and directing students which way to go, and then letting them make their own choices. And just kind of the final conclusion, this came from the Association for Supervision and Curriculum Development. This graphic did. I thought it was pretty accurate to show just development of the whole child. I really like that phrase, and I think that that's one thing that we have to keep in mind is that the biological, the psychological, and the social all come together to help form who students are. So I think that kind of sums up my view briefly of adolescent development. Thank you.